Well, thank you for tuning in. This is Barry Burnett, your host of Investing Insights with Barry Burnett. And we have a fantastic show for you tonight. This is the only show on radio that's specifically designed for entrepreneurial investors just like you. You own one property to 50 properties. You've worked hard scrabble all your life to accumulate some property. You own real estate, and now you want to know how you can operate your real estate stronger, safer, smarter. Well, this is the right show for you. This is not your average radio home show. We love granite, we love countertops and backsplashes and all of that neat stuff, and fix and flips are part of investing scenarios, but this is not that show. This is how to operate your portfolio and why investing where in your property ownership, the property should not own you. You should take back control of your life and have a really good, solid portfolio, some way that you can take the vacation so you can enjoy your living that you've worked so hard to prepare for, so that you can prepare for your heirs and for your future, for your whole destiny. And a lot of that is what we talk about. Well, tonight's show, you're going to be really excited because when I introduce this guest, he's got some spectacular stuff to share with you, stuff that you probably have wondered about but never understood. Tonight's show topic is mediation, and we'll get into that in just a moment. But when we talk about investing insights, what we're really looking at is an educational format. Tonight's material is for education and information. So this is not an infomercial. This is about you, the entrepreneurial investor, and how you can make your portfolio stronger, safer, smarter. On that scene, we're basically looking at each of our segments and each of our shows as part of a curriculum so that you can actually get a college-level backgrounding on how to make your real estate portfolio shine. Now, if you've just started in investing or if you're planning on purchasing or investing, it's something that really should reflect your own personality. When we do that, there are some folks that are plumbers and they really love tenants' toilets and repairs. Well, that's great, but other people, their personalities are more hands-off. They want to buy something that they can see tangibly, drive by, see a trophy property, and have a sense that they have ownership and pride of ownership. And they want to just clip the coupons and put the investment returns in their bank. Well, they're totally different types of investments. So we're going to be talking about that through this series. Stay tuned each and every week. Every Saturday night, 8 to 9 p.m., we come on and we're going to make your real estate investments stronger, safer, smarter. We are on Talk Radio 790 KABC, the second most listened to radio station in the Northern Hemisphere. And there's a reason for that because they've got great programming just like this. Investing Insights is designed for entrepreneurial investors so that you can control your portfolios smarter, safer, stronger. And the way that we do that is through educating tremendous ideas and concepts. And tonight's program is designed exactly for that. I have a very dear friend, a longtime friend, who is an attorney, who is a specialist, who's worked with real estate and real estate litigation and contracts for many years, and he is a specialist in mediation. His name is Bob Andersen, and Bob, I'm really glad you're on this show.
So am I. I'm glad to be here.
Great. Well, Bob, we go back a little ways, don't we?
Yes.
I met you in the beginning of fall of 1972 when we were at UCLA in Alpha Gamma Omega fraternity. So this is a great old home week, but beyond that, this is going to be great content for our investors. So why did you get into the law?
Well, I became an attorney in 1979.
Yes.
So actually, it was during the Watergate period where everybody that was going to jail were attorneys. And I thought, it might be worthwhile to have some attorneys that don't necessarily want to go to jail.
Yeah.
So that was my motivation. Not that any attorney wants to go to jail, but the Watergate was part of the reason why I decided to go law. But prior to then, I was doing public service, and it was a change to go law.
So your first degree is economics and public service.
Right.
Your first master's degree was in public administration at UCLA.
Right.
And then you did a theological degree at Talbot Theological Seminary before going into the law.
Yeah, I knew I was changing subjects. I knew I was going to law school at that point, and I thought, well, I'd like a couple years of biblical background before I go, and that was the perfect time in my life to do it, so that's what I did.
Okay, so that makes it much more interesting on your application of the law, because what you see is a lot of people fighting, and the attorneys are supposed to try to see if they can minimize the fights, not escalate them, right?
As a general rule, peace is better than war. And I think most people know that intuitively. It just gets a little wishy-washy when you get into the actual dispute.
Okay, so disputes, litigation. You've done litigation for years, right?
Right, 34 years as an attorney. I just started my mediation practice last year to try to do mediation full-time.
Okay, so what is mediation?
Okay, the first thing you need to distinguish between is when you see the word written, mediation, it is not meditation. A lot of people read that word and think meditation, and it's kind of funny to think that it's that close in spelling. It's right next to each other in the dictionary, but it's a very different concept. Mediation is where you have two parties in a dispute. They bring in a third party that goes between the parties and tries to come up with a solution to the problem. So a mediator is the third party in between, going back and forth, shuttling back and forth, trying to get a resolution to a problem.
Is it easy to find an unbiased mediator?
Yes, I think so. It depends what you mean by unbiased. We all are biased. Everybody has biases.
Okay.
So you're trying to get rid of the biases that will affect that particular transaction. But usually a third party will their goal is to get a settlement.
Okay.
So if they push real hard for a settlement, that's their bias.
So it's settlement oriented, as opposed to continuing the fight and having a judge drop a gavel and say, okay, this side wins, this side loses, and bang.
Yes, you're definitely looking for a settlement.
Okay.
That's what you're looking for.
And if you've just tuned in, you're listening to Investing Insights with Barry Burnett here on Talk Radio 790 KABC. I'm Barry Burnett, and I'm sitting here with my very dear friend, Bob Andersen, Robert T. Andersen, Jr., who's been in practice in the law, based in Riverside for 34 years.
That's right.
And you're doing a mediation practice. You know, nobody wants to get sideways. Nobody wants to get into some people do actually, but most people don't want to fight over stuff or issues or concepts. Although this society, there's an awful lot of pugnacious ideas and a lot of people who are just taking off the gloves and throwing down. So they hire an attorney and they roll up their sleeves and they spend lots of money to fight one another, right?
You can certainly do that. Some people who get angry, they look at what they perceive as an offense, and they only see it from their side, so they'll go to an attorney, get a lawsuit filed immediately before they really think, well, what's the other side going to say when we get to court?
Okay, so we've got a lot to talk about, and coming right up, we're going to be getting into some of the situations that people get themselves into and what it costs them to get in and what it can cost them to get out. This is Investing Insights with Barry Burnett. You can reach us and register with barryburnett.net. That's BarryBurnett.net. barryburnett.net. Go online, register with us, and you'll be registering for our white papers and our tip sheets and emails and specifics. This is a radio show for entrepreneurial investors designed to bring you insights so that your portfolio can be stronger, safer, smarter. Tonight's subject does just that. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.